Hi, gorgeous. Welcome back to the Bright Life podcast in my channel. My name is Jessica Johnson. I'm the author of Your Bright Life, and I'm always sharing tips and tricks to find your passion and what lights you up and build a life and business around it. And today I want to share 4 signs that you are meant for something bigger. So if you are sitting in your life right now and you're like, I just know there's something more for me, or there's something else out there, I want to share 4 things that can confirm that you're on the right track and how to get started feeling like you are really ready to begin and get out there. I've absolutely been in that stage. I have once joked about how I had this boyfriend at one time who his big issue with me was that I didn't know my passion in life, but I desperately wanted to find it. I didn't know what it was. I was a hard worker in my corporate job, but I just didn't have my thing that felt like what I really woke up excited for. And so for me, it wasn't a matter of not caring. It was just that I didn't know how to find it. And I felt like if I found it, then I would go do the thing. So it created this whole journey around the lessons I had to learn to figure out what I love to do and how I feel like I can make a difference and how I can use my gifts to do that. And so I love to break it down for anyone else who is in that spot being like, I wish I knew what I could do, and if I knew it, I'd go for it. So you absolutely do have a message that's so important to share. You are meant for something bigger, and here is how you know for sure, okay? The first thing is, if you can't forget about a dream, it's probably for you in some way. What I have personally learned is that a dream never really goes away. If this is a dream that's for you, it more likely will keep coming back and will keep getting louder and will keep being the thing that is really hard to resist. That was my experience with my entrepreneurial journey, where I was in corporate for years. I had, worked my way up the ladder where I felt like I finally had the good salary and the title I wanted and everything was steady. And then I started to feel restlessness and discomfort creep in because I had a bigger dream that kept coming back to me, to start my own business, to create more freedom, to be able to work from anywhere around the world. This is before remote work was a thing, and to just do something that I loved every day. I started to follow those nudges and to take courses and to figure out my interests, and eventually got my idea for a business. And then I really tried to squash it down because I was like, now is not the time to change my plan and to upset this nice life that I had created. And so I tried to just not, and to just stay on the track that I'd set out for all those years. What I learned is that if it is a dream that is for you, those little nudges do not get quieter, they just get louder and louder. And so in my experience, you are better off listening to them than you are pushing them off for another 10 years, where it's like I always say, you can do it scared today or you can do it scared 10 years from now. The difference won't be the amount of fear, it'll be the amount of time that you have let slip by before you chase your dream. And that was really my experience. And once I went for it, I could see why, because entrepreneurship has opened up everything to me. It gave me the ability to travel around the world. I've been to all 7 continents now. It eventually led to the lessons I learned that helped me write my book and start this podcast, and so many other things, and just so much freedom and fulfillment and excitement from just being my own boss and doing what I love. So whatever your dream is, if there's something that's calling to you and you are trying to push it off, but you're feeling like maybe I'm meant for something more, something bigger, you can't forget about it. It's probably a sign that that thing is for you and it's time to leap. It's just time to go for it and see why you have those urges and what's on the other side. The second thing is that you're starting to feel less comfortable in the life you've outgrown versus the discomfort you'd feel taking a risk. There is a quote I love that I've returned to throughout my life by Anais Nin. Hope I'm saying that right. And it says, "And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom." So if you are feeling like you're tight in a bud and what used to feel so comfortable and safe about that now starts to feel uncomfortable, even more uncomfortable than the risk it would take to blossom and to see what's there for you, then you might be at that stage where you are meant for something more, that you're starting to know that you're meant for something bigger, because now the scary thing isn't going for what you dream of, it's staying where you are. It's staying in a life you've outgrown. Not everyone feels those nudges, but if you do, they may be there for a reason. So that would be the second thing to pay attention to. The third sign that you are meant for something bigger is you have been through some ish. You have been through a lot and you have something to teach is what that means. So if you are maybe disqualifying yourself because you're like, oh, like life's been messy, or, I've gone through so much, or I'm not where all these other people are, I actually think that's what makes you very qualified to teach, because you've probably tackled some really serious seasons. You've probably gone through a lot. You've come out stronger. You've learned lessons. Like, if it's been messy, if it's been hard, if you've been pushed to your limits, gosh, you are going to really make a difference for someone else. You are really going to be able to help someone who is in it right now, because you've been there and you know the path out. So you are further along than someone else who is like praying for a solution. You might be their solution. And so you absolutely are meant for something bigger if you've been through some stuff. And if your life has been hard, or you've navigated things that no one knows about, or you feel like you're finally ready to share about some things, then that could be your sign. What I always do when I'm in a season that I'm like, I do not know the way out of this season, now I open up a notepad in my phone and I just start jotting down what I'm learning day to day. So anytime I get a lesson, or I feel like a little aha moment, or a little breadcrumb of like, oh, maybe this is how I navigate something like this, or a quote that someone said, or a little synchronicity, like a little sign that I feel like is positive or for me, I write it down. And what I found is those things could become your next podcast, or an episode. It could become your book one day. It has for me. My new book that's coming out, Shine Bright, is all about that journey of being like, I have so much to say, but I'm so scared to say it and to share. And like, how do you shine when you're like terrified to do so? So you can use those lessons of things you've gone through or navigated to be the thing that you use to create a bigger life and to go for something more. So if you've gone through some stuff, that does not disqualify you. That makes you exactly who we need to be out in the stage, like getting services out there, products out there, attention from people who you can absolutely serve and help. And then the final sign that you're meant for something bigger and something more is that you have the dream. So I think you do not have the call and the dream unless you're meant for it in some way. There's a million people out there living lives that I don't feel particularly like triggered by, or I don't feel jealous of, or I don't feel like, oh, I wish I could do that, because I don't think it's meant for me. I'm like super happy to see people doing things that, to me, I just have no connection to. But there's other things that I see and I'm like, gosh, I would love to be able to do that. Or why can't I have a life like that? Or why can't I have a career in that way? But that has fueled me. Like, that has been what I've used to then go and create a life where I can travel, and a job that I can do from anywhere. That's what I've used to continually like show up when I feel like I'm not getting the traction I want in certain times. Like, it helped me leave corporate. And so for you, if you are seeing other people that have a dream, or you have one in your heart and you don't know how to make it happen, the fact that you have it is the sign you need that it's meant for you. If you're wondering like, I don't know if this is really for me, the fact you're even thinking about it is the sign. That is the sign, because someone else is going through their day not thinking about it at all, not like caring at all about that thing, not scared to do that thing at all because it's not for them. The fact that you're thinking about it is the sign. The fact that you're trying so hard to resist it is the sign. The fact that you're pushing it down when the fear is only going to get stronger, like we talked about in point 1, or the desire is only going to get stronger, pushing you to do it, that in and of itself is pointing you that this is for you, that this is the thing you care about for a reason. Okay, so if you're in that place where you like have this nudge of like, well, I always thought it would be cool to do this thing, to start a podcast, write a book, or travel to this one place, or be a mom, or whatever it is, but it scares you. Remember this. Number 1, if you can't forget about it, a dream never goes away. That is like, it's only going to get stronger and stronger. So why not go for it today and see what's on the other side sooner? Number 2, your sign is if you're starting to feel even more uncomfortable, wondering what if, then going for it and facing what could be on the other side. Yes, it could be scary, but also it could be the best thing you ever do. For every thought you give of what could go wrong, also think about what could go right, and it might be better than you ever imagined. Number 3 is if you've been through some stuff, you absolutely are meant for something bigger. You're meant to share your truths and your message with the world. I'm not saying share anything that's tender or still raw and processing, and maybe some things are too vulnerable to ever share publicly. But if there's something that you know and you're feeling that calling of like, I think I could really help someone with this, or I feel like I'm really finally ready to share my memoir or what I've been through, you probably are, all right? And the 4th one is if you have the dream, you're already there. You're already there because you have it and someone else doesn't. So the fact that it was given to you, I almost think of it like the carrot. So you see this dream because life knows that you wanting that thing means you're going to follow all the steps and breadcrumbs you need to become that person who can hold that thing. So who can hold the successful podcast or the millions of dollars or the big business or all the eyes on you for sharing your message. You just have to learn how to become that person. And I think that's the journey life wants to take us on anyway. But it will give you this desire and this dream that starts you moving in that direction. Does that make sense? Okay, so signs you're meant for something bigger. Those are your signs. If any of those resonate, you absolutely are meant for something bigger. And I'll link a video that you can watch for how to get started and navigate those beginning nerves. I'll also share below some links to a free workbook to figure out your purpose, your passion, your message, your brilliant business idea so you can get out in the world and start sharing it. But really just take away that if you feel like you're meant for more, you are. If you're meant for something bigger, you are. A lot of people don't feel that call. A lot of people aren't at home feeling that urge, and that's not a slight on them. That's just that maybe they're in their most fulfilled life, and maybe yours is just trying to take you to something different and something bigger and something more for you. All right, I'll see you back here again soon. Thank you so much for listening, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already.